Hello everyone, it's Myung-Jan. Today I'm going to read S3 3083, Frog and Toad All Year by Arnold Robel. Chapter 1, Down the Hill. Frog knocked at Toad's door. Toad, wake up, he cried. Come out and see how wonderful the winter is. I will not, said Toad. I'm in my warm bed. Winter is beautiful, said Frog. Come out and have fun. Blah, said Toad. I do not have any winter clothes. Frog came into the house. I have brought you some things to wear, he said. Frog pushed the coat down over the top of Ted. Frog pulled the snow pants up over the bottom of Toad. He put a hat and a scarf on Toad's head. Help! Cried Toad. My best friend is trying to kill me. I'm only getting you ready for winter, said Frog. Frog and Toad went outside. They tramped through the snow. We will ride down this big hill on my sled, said Frog. Not me, said Toad. Do not be afraid, said Frog. I will be with you on the sled. It'll be a fine, fast ride. Today, Toad, you sit and rest. I will sit right behind you. The sled began to move down the hill. Here we go, said Frog. There was a bump. Frog fell off the sled. Toad rushed past trees and rocks. Frog, I'm glad that you are here, said Tom. Toad leaped over a snowbank. I could not steer the sled without you, Frog, he said. You're right, winter is fun. A crowd flew nearby. Hello, Crow, shouted Toad. Look at Frog and me. We can ride a sled better than anybody else in the world. But Toad, said the Crow, you're alone on the sled. Toad looked around. He saw the Frog was not there. I'm all alone, screamed the Toad. Bang! The sled hit a tree. Third, the sled hit a dog. Plop! The sled dived into the snow. Frog came running down the hill. He pulled the Toad out of the snow. I saw everything. I saw everything, said Frog. You did very well by yourself. I did not, said Toad. But there is one thing that I can do all by myself. What's that? Asked Frog. I can go home, said Toad. Winter may be beautiful, but bed is much better. Chapter 2, The Corner. Frog and Toad were caught in the rain. They ran to Frog's house. The day is spoiled. Have some tea and cake, said Frog. The rain will stop. If you stand near the stove, your clothes will soon be dry. I will tell you a story while we are waiting, said Frog. Oh, good, said Toad. When I was small, not much bigger, then a pollywog, said Frog. My father said to me, Son, this is a cold, gray day, but spring is just around the corner. I wanted spring to come. I went out to find that corner. I walked down a path in the world until it came to open. I went around the corner to see if spring was on the other side. Ah, and was it? Asked Ted. No, said Frog. There was only a pine tree, 3 pebbles, and some dry glasses. I walked in the meadow. Soon I came to another corner. I went around the corner. To see if spring was there. Did you find it? Asked Toad. No, said Frog. There was only an old worm asleep on the tree stem. I walked along the river until I came to another court. I went around the corner to look for spring. Was it there? Asked Toad. No, said Frog. There was only some wet mud and a lizard who was chasing at his tail. 그러니까 범인은 you must have been tired, said Toad. I was tired, and said Frog, and it started to rain. I went back home. When I got there, said Frog, I found another corner. Where's the corner of my house? Asked Toad. I went around that corner too, said Frog. What did you do? Asked Toad. I saw the sun coming out, said Frog. I saw the birds sitting and singing in the tree. I saw my mother and father working in their garden. I saw flowers in the garden. You found it, cried Toad. Yes, said Frog. I was very happy. I had found the corner. That spring was just around the corner. Look, Frog. 먹은 거 똑같이 먹으면 돼요. They ran around the corner of Frog's house to make sure that spring had come again. Ice cream. One hot summer day, Frog and Toad sat by the pond. I wish we had some sweet cold ice cream, said Frog. What a good idea, said Toad. What? Wait right here, Frog. I will be back soon. Today, Toad went to the store. He bought 2 ice cream cones. Toad licked one of the cones. Frog liked chocolate best. Toad walked along the path. Large, soft drop of chocolate ice cream slipped down his arm. This ice cream is melting in the sun, said Toad. Toad walked faster. Many drops of melting ice cream flew through the air. They fell down on Toad's head. I must hurry back to Frog, he cried. More and more of the ice cream was melting. It dripped down on Toad's jacket. It splattered on his pants and on his feet. Where is the path? Cried Toad. I cannot see it. Frog sat by the pond, waiting for Toad. A mouse ran by. Something covered with sticks and leaves in the morning. I just saw something awful, cried the mouse, who was big and brown. Here comes a thing with horns, shouted a rabbit. Run for your life. What can it be? Asked the frog. Frog hid behind a rock. He saw the thing coming. It was big and brown. It was covered with sticks and leaves. It had 2 horns. Frog, he cried the thing, where are you? Good heavens, said Frog, that thing is Toad. Toad fell into the mud. His neck sank to the bottom and came up again. Drat, said Toad, all of our sweet cold ice cream has washed away. Never mind, said Frog. I know what we can do. Frog and Toad quickly ran back to the store. Then they sat in the shade of a large tree and ate the chocolate ice cream cones together. The surprise! It was October. The leaves had fallen off the tree. They were lying on the ground. I will go to Toad's house, said Frog. I will rake all of the leaves that have fallen on his lawn. Frog took a rake out of the garden shed. Toad looked out of his window. These messy leaves have covered everything, said Toad. He took a rake out of the closet. I will run over to Frog's house. I will rake all of his leaves. Frog will be very pleased. Frog ran through the woods. So ran Toad wouldn't see him. Toad ran through the high tree so that Frog would not see him. Frog came to Toad's house. He looked in the window. Crows. Good, said Frog. Toad is out. He will never know who raked these leaves. Toad got to Frog's house. He looked in the window. Good, said Toad. Froggy is not home. He will never guess. Frog worked hard. He raked the leaves into a pile. 비료도 주고. Into a pile. Soon Toad's lawn was clean. First picked up his rake and started home. Toad pushed and pulled on the rake. Toad pushed and pulled on the rake. He raked the leaves into a pile. Soon there was not a single leaf in Frog's front yard. Toad took his rake and started home. A wind came. It blew across the land. A pile of leaves that Frog had raked for Toad blew everywhere. The pile of leaves that had raked for Frog and blew everywhere. When Frog got home, he said, "Tomorrow I will clean up the leaves that are all over my own lawn." How surprised Tom must be. When Toad got home, he said, "Tomorrow I will get to work and rake all of my leaves." Okay. 100만 원 넘. That night, Frog and Toad were both happy when they turned out the light and went to bed. On Christmas Eve, Toad cooked a big dinner. He decorated the tree. "Frog is late," said Toad. Toad looked at his clock. He remembered it was broken. The hands of the clock did not move. Toad opened the front door. He looked out into the night. Frog was not there. "I'm worried," said Toad. "What if something terrible has happened?" said Toad. "What if Frog has fallen into a deep hole and cannot get out? I will never see him again." Toad opened the door once more. Frog was not on the path. "What if Frog is lost in the woods?" said Toad. "What if he is cold and wet and hungry? What if Frog is being chased by a big animal with many sharp teeth? What if he is being eaten up?" cried Toad. "My friend and I will never, ever have another Christmas together. I will pull Frog out of the hole." With this, said Tina, Toad found the lantern in the attic. "Frog will see this light. I will show him the way out of the woods," said Toad. Toad found the frying pan in the kitchen. "I will hit that big animal with this," said Toad. "All of his teeth will fall out." "Frogs, don't worry," cried Toad. "I am coming to help you." Toad ran out of his house. "Hello, Toad," he said. "I'm very sorry to be late. I was wrapping your present." "You're not at the bottom of a hole?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "You're not lost in the woods?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "You're not being eaten by a big animal?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "Not at all." "A frog," said Toad. "I'm so glad to be spending Christmas with you." The end.